Hi everybody, how are you doing today? It is a bright sunny day for the first early in the morning. Finally, we're probably like you, we're getting one sunny day, 3 rain. Oh, and the moon is out right now. It is 9:30 in the morning and I'm going for some supplies. I've been canning. The last couple of days I've been canning dried beans and chicken, if you can imagine. Just trying to put away as much as I possibly can. Why we are growing things, because if you are paying attention, you will know that a lot of our farms are going under. And with this amount of rain that we're having, and it's all over, because at least my listeners are telling me that all over the world, the weather is chaotic and crazy and too much wet. And not only that, there's workers because of this virus. Everybody's afraid to, the migrant workers here in Canada, we're afraid to go into the fields because a couple of people were tested positive. Or so that is what the news is telling us. I don't watch the news, but I hear it from other people. Because usually the news is not anything, there's usually not much truth in it, just, at least that's my opinion. So, put food away is a really good way, because if we do have, electrical problems and we don't have our freezer and our fridges and stuff, we need to have a different way to have our food stored. What's really good about doing things like that is you can do soups and stews and, put them ready-made food, like right now, so it really doesn't take that much time, and then you've got a ready-made meal and you don't have to feed your family things that have got artificial preservatives and all of the horrible things that they actually are putting in most of our food. So anyways, that's what I've been doing. I know that isn't really what I want to talk to you guys about. What I want to talk to you about is so I'm watching Photo Felix's last episode coming on Awake and Sane. That's not the name of his channel anymore. He's changed it. I don't know why people would change their channel. It's confusing. I have a hard time with names, so it always is hard for me. That's why I stick to Jesus and Jehovah, or Yahweh and Joshua, because those are what I knew when I was younger, and it's hard to go to these other names. Names are really difficult for me. So anyways, I'm watching him. My heart is broken. He's got stage 4 cancer, lung cancer, and it's spread and metastasized. And I know what that's like because I lost a sister who died of breast cancer. And that really started my hunt, It was back, she died in 98. And then there really wasn't much on the internet. I had a computer, but it was much harder to get on the computer back then, and I wasn't really using it. So I didn't really understand. And a couple of years later, I started on my search. I found something called ISIAC that had a really great thing. It was a nurse, Casey, and she just turned her name around and it's this tea made out of 9 different flowering plants or herbs and just weeds that are typical here in Alberta. I imagine they're typical everywhere. That she was curing people. People were coming in on stretchers and were walking out completely cured, and the government closed her down. And like so many others. So I went and I started taking that myself because I've always had health issues. And I found through the time basically what my health issues have been. One, when I was 12 years old, they filled my mouth full of silver mercury fillings, and from that point my eyesight went. My health went down. I developed rheumatoid arthritis, and really basically I've spent most of my life in agony because of having these fillings in my mouth. And about 5 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, I had to have one of the teeth, which was what they did is they carved my teeth out, and I've asked to get them taken out, and I would basically have to have my teeth pulled out because they've ruined them, and it just can't be done with most of my teeth. But this one tooth, I had it taken out because I had a cracked root, and they just couldn't save it. And probably was the best thing that ever happened to me, because since then, just having that one mercury filled, even though I've got many, many more, it has helped my IQ went up, and my just my vitality went up, and a lot changed, especially with my mental, just thinking more clearly and stuff like that. So anyways, I've really come to the realization of that over the last couple of years. But so what I don't want it to be too long, and I kind of wanted to start with a bunch of stuff, because if I put this information in the middle of a video, it won't get taken down. And I'm sure all of you guys have heard about chlorine dioxide, right? Or if you haven't, and what I want you to do, I've had so many, I've done a number of videos on this before, and I've had wonderful comments of people who have used chlorine dioxide and have cured their cancer, cured their MS, have cured their sinus infections. It doesn't matter, and it works quick. Because if it's a fungal infection or if it's a heavy metal infection, it will evaporate. It will help release the metals, like the toxic metals. So I use it for the mercury poisoning. So I have to use it on every day, because if I don't, I have so much mercury in my mouth that I will start to get sick within a week. So I have to use it every day. It saves my life. But it saved my life in so many other ways. A few years back, about 5 years ago, I was so seriously ill, and I started taking it. That's when I started taking, and I'm not going to say the name of it, chlorine dioxide. I'm going to just leave it at that. And it really did. It saved my life. It brought me back from a lot of fungal infections that were going on with me, especially from taking so many antibiotics through the years. Like your body just breaks down and it can't take care of itself. And so, along with a whole lot of other things, because you know what, it's not just one thing. But if you want to get rid of cancer quickly, and you want to get rid of any fungal infection quickly, there are two different things that you can do. And I personally do both of them, and I rotate them. I don't do them at the same day, but I rotate them. And that is 100% spirits of turpentine. It is the food grade one, not the turpentine you're going to find in your hardware store, so please do not take that. And chlorine dioxide. And between those two, if it wasn't for those two, I don't think I'd be here today. So I would like you guys who have used this, and I've had many people, because of my recommendations, have called me, or not called me, but messaged me back the improvement that they themselves or their loved one. I know one person has used it on their young child who has autism, and is working the chemicals out of the system, because autism, everything you look into is a heavy metal poisoning from the vaccinations, and you can actually get that out of your system with chlorine dioxide, and there is a whole protocol for that. So, and she is, and her child has no symptoms of autism anymore, and I've heard this over and over and over again. And I've heard this over and over and over again about the cancer. Because if you know anything about cancer, cancer is a fungus. It grows, it's a fungus is the fastest, mushrooms and things like that, think about it. It's the fastest growing, largest organism on this earth. It is what everything happens in the dark, fungus grows. And if you are in an environment, especially if you're in an environment, it's easy to get these funguses, and they start rapidly growing. It can be just that you're walking through a field and you picked one up from, the funguses that's on the leaves. Like, we're exposed to these kind of things all the time. But if you have a strong immune system, it just gets rid of it, and it attacks it, and maybe you get kind of like a flu-like system because you're a flu-like symptom, but because your system is burning it off, and you think, oh, I had the flu, but no, it's just your immune system was taking care of yourself. It was getting rid of all of that. But in this system that we have right now, with all of the 5G, 4G, 3G, whatever it is, all of that going around, that disturbs us and totally destroys our structure of our cell. It makes it much more difficult for us to fight off bacteria and funguses and cancers, which is a fungus. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because I'm listening to Helix, and he's got stage 4 lung cancer, and he's going to the doctor, and he's going and doing that, and he's getting a death sentence. And I could be wrong, but I don't think that has to happen for anybody. I mean, God is going to call you back. If it's your time, it's your time. And sometimes it's a blessing for your time to come. But we are being poisoned. And the cure that the oncologists use in any form is radiation or chemotherapy, is all to attack your body. It attacks your cells, it attacks you, kills you, weakens you. It wrecks your immune system so that you cannot fight it off on your own. You see, it's a plan. It's a plan. Nobody survives chemotherapy. Like, people survive it, but they're weakened. My sister was so weakened from all the things that she, from her chemotherapy and all of the crap that they did to her, that she spent 3 years in a bed basically until she finally did succumb to cancer. But we didn't know about these other things. We didn't know at that time how corrupt the medical system was, and how the Rockefellers have taken over holistic medicine and banned it, and taken over what really truly can heal you, and given you things that will fight it, so that you bombard it and you're killing yourself by most of the allopathic medicines. So I mean, please put in if you have used I almost said the name of it, chlorine dioxide or turpentine, and it has been beneficial, please put in so other people, and please read the comments, because there's going to be comments from people that have used this. So if you are doubtful, put in links if you can, for people that, if you've made a video yourself, please put that in there. This information needs to really get out, because too many people are succumbing to these things that are simple to deal with if you know how. Now, like I said, my mouth is full of things that are going to make me more sorry. I'm driving and I'm like on this little bumpy road, and my mind kind of slipped. So I have to deal with it all the time, and I have to be always maintaining it, because I've got this. If you are able to get rid of yours, if you're able to do that, if you got a medical plan, go get them taken out. You literally will become younger and have more vitality, have more intelligence, just feel better. It's a poison to you. It was a deliberate poison. It never needed to be done. It's just like, how they put in fetal aborted children, or our babies, in our vaccinations and in our food products as a flavoring. Whoever needs a flavoring of a child. Hold on a second. Somebody is giving me a message. See if I can get rid of this. You guys, all right. There we go. Okay. And so I guess that's really what I want to say is let it be your word. Put your links in there that you've got, your testimonials to this. Let's not die unnecessarily. Let's not be chronically ill unnecessarily. You know, one of the things I've noticed here about this is about 3 years ago in my neighborhood. I live in a really small community. We live outside, actually. I don't live in a town. I live kitty corner to 4 little towns, about 2,000 to 5,000 people in each one of them. And in the last 3 years, they put up pharmacies in all of these little towns. And one of them even has a pharmacy directly across the street, and it has 5,000 population. If you haven't seen that this is a planned pandemic, you know, what's going on is planned, just that alone shows that they were planning something by putting up all of these pharmacies, you know. There are ways to treat yourself and to heal yourself and to heal your family that has nothing to do with a corrupt system. I've made many videos on the healthcare system. I've thrown in other people's information. There's no reason for us to be as sick as we are and to die and leave our families. At least not from that. If it's God's time to call you home, He's going to call you home no matter what. So no matter what you take, it's still going to happen. But if it's not, if it's man's manipulation and causing us to get sick because that's what they want, there's other ways to treat it. And even if it is your time, it's time. You need to, if you're going to the doctor, go there. Also, too, this is one thing I have not talked to you guys about. I take cannabis because I do have a lot of pain. I got thrown from a horse, and I can suffer from huge amount of pain from crushed vertebrae, and so I use that, and I've talked to God about this, you know, whether this was something that He didn't want me to do, but taking this, using this product has taken me off. I was on 4 high blood pressure medications, and now I'm on 1 every couple of days. And I just had so many other things. It has balanced my hormones. It's kept my weight down. It's really given me a much more clearer head, if you can imagine. Like, it doesn't sound like it would be, but it does. I know lots of people go to CBD because it doesn't give you that type of a... but CBD doesn't help on the pain. It doesn't... But what I was using, the pain medications that I was using before, I was having so many other other symptoms, like, you know, my liver and my kidneys, and my stomach. I had ulcers and stuff like that. Like, it caused so many other physical problems that I had to now take all these other medications. So what I'm trying to say is, by using cannabis, I have been able to free myself of all these other medications and all these other symptoms. And then, because it becomes over and over and over again, you know, like, it's one drug leads you to 2 more, you know, and it becomes a never-ending thing. When my mom finally passed away, and this is going on 10 years now, they were spending up to $3,000 a month on medications for her. And if she would have used cannabis, chlorine dioxide, and turpentine, she'd probably still be alive today and pain-free. So, I love y'all. Please stay in love and light. Like, look at the bright side of life, no matter what's going on. If you've got some peace right now in your life, if that is not all affecting you directly, where you have to be, even in those, even if it's affecting you directly, you have to go inside. You have to go to God, and you have to release that and have peace and joy and find appreciation in your life. Appreciate what you have. You know, I have this car to drive. Sunny day today, even though it's been raining. You have to count your blessings, because life is a blessing. No matter how hard it can be, no matter how much pain you're in, no matter how much people are hating you because of the message you have to find joy in your heart. I guess that's my message for today. I love you guys. Live and love light. Talk to you later.